Most people are asleep at 4 a.m., not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. They hit snooze not just on their alarms, but on their dreams, on their potential, on their future. But you are different. You are here because you are ready to rise. Not just from your bed, but from your limitations. Most people never realize that the quiet hours of the morning are the most powerful hours of the day. When the world is still asleep at 4 a.m., something magical happens. Time slows down, distractions disappear, and you are left alone with yourself and your dreams. The world feels empty, but in that emptiness lies the greatest opportunity you will ever have, the chance to work on yourself before anyone else even wakes up. Waking up early is not just about having more time in the day. It is about taking control of the day before it takes control of you. It is about starting before everyone else, so that when they begin, you are already ahead. Think about how most people live. They wake up just in time to rush through their mornings. Their alarm goes off, they hit snooze, they check their phones, and before they know it, they are late, they are stressed, and they are running. They have no time to think, no time to breathe, no time to plan. They are already playing catch up before the day has even started. But if you rise at 4 a.m., you break free from that trap. You take back the steering wheel of your life. You begin your day with calmness, clarity, and focus, while the rest of the world is still buried in their dreams. This is why early rising is a secret weapon. It is not simply a habit, it is a statement, a declaration to yourself and to the world that you are serious about becoming more than you are today. The discipline to wake up early forces you to live with intention, because nobody wakes up at 4 a.m. by accident. When you choose to get out of bed at that hour, you are telling yourself, I am willing to do what others won't do, so I can have what others will never have. That mindset alone changes everything. The quiet of the early morning gives you space to think clearly. There is no noise, no traffic, no constant buzzing of notifications. You can finally hear your own thoughts. You can reflect on your goals, your dreams, your challenges, and your next steps. You can plan the day with purpose instead of letting the day control you. You can decide who you want to be today, how you want to act, and what you want to accomplish, before anyone has the chance to interrupt you. And this is where the real edge comes from. When you start ahead, you stay ahead. If you wake up at 4 a.m., by the time others are rolling out of bed at 7, you have already invested 3 hours into yourself. You may have exercised, read a book, learned a new skill, or worked on your business. Those 3 hours stacked day after day become weeks of progress, then months, then years. Before long, the gap between you and everyone else is no longer small, it is massive. People will look at your success and call it luck, but you will know it was built in the dark, in the hours when the world was asleep. This is why rising early is not just about productivity. It is about building an identity. You are becoming the kind of person who does not wait for opportunity. You create it. The kind of person who is not controlled by comfort, but by purpose. The kind of person who understands that the world rewards those who are prepared. And preparation starts before sunrise. Comfort is the silent killer of dreams. Every great achievement in history was born out of a moment where someone chose discipline over comfort, action over excuses, and sacrifice over short-term pleasure. Waking up early is not simply a matter of setting an alarm. It is a battle between the version of you that wants to stay safe and the version of you that wants to grow. At 4 a.m., when the alarm rings, the easiest thing in the world is to roll over, pull the blanket tighter, and whisper, just 5 more minutes. But 5 minutes become 10, 10 become 30, and before you know it, the day has already claimed you. Discipline means saying no to that voice, no to comfort, no to weakness, and yes to the future you are building. When you choose discipline, you are not just getting out of bed, you are strengthening your mind. You are teaching yourself that your decisions are more powerful than your feelings. Your feelings will always try to talk you out of doing hard things. They will tell you that you are too tired, that you deserve more sleep, that you can try again tomorrow. But discipline refuses to negotiate. Discipline says, I hear you, but we move anyway. And every single time you do that, you are building mental muscle. Just like lifting weights in the gym, the more you resist the temptation of comfort, the stronger you get. The truth is, comfort feels good in the moment, but costs you everything later. Comfort will let you stay the same, but staying the same means staying stuck. If you want a different life, you must be willing to live differently. This is why discipline is so rare. Most people want success, but they do not want the discomfort that comes with earning it. They want the results, but not the process. They want the reward, but not the sacrifice. That is why you must separate yourself from the majority. You must become the person who understands that discipline is freedom, not punishment. Think about what happens when you are disciplined enough to wake up early, to do the hard work, to push yourself beyond your limits. You no longer live life reactively. You are not rushing through the day apologizing for being late, regretting wasted time. Instead, you feel in control. You know you have done the hard things first, and that gives you confidence that carries through the rest of the day. You walk differently, think differently, act differently because you know you kept a promise to yourself. And that is where true self-respect is built, not in easy moments, but in the hard ones when nobody is watching. There is another truth about discipline. It compounds. The first time you wake up early, it feels like a mountain. The second time, it is still hard but slightly easier. The third time, your mind begins to expect it. Eventually, it becomes a habit, and when that happens, you no longer need to fight with yourself. It just becomes who you are. And that is the goal. You are not trying to wake up early just for the sake of doing it. You are trying to become a disciplined person, someone who can be trusted to do the right thing even when it is not easy. You must also understand that every time you choose discipline, you are proving to yourself that your goals matter more than your comfort. That proof builds belief. That belief builds confidence. And confidence turns into action. When you act consistently, the world begins to open doors for you that would have stayed closed had you stayed comfortable. There is something sacred about the early morning hours, something that cannot be found at any other time of the day. The world is quiet, distractions are gone, and you are finally able to think clearly. This is when your mind is at its sharpest, when creativity flows without interruption, when your thoughts have space to breathe. In the noise of the day, we are constantly bombarded. Messages, calls, meetings, notifications, endless demands pulling us in every direction until we forget what we were even trying to accomplish. But at 4 a.m., none of that exists. The phone is silent, the streets are still, and it feels as though time itself has paused just for you. This is where clarity lives. This is where you can separate what truly matters from what is just noise. The problem with most people is not that they lack time. It is that they lack focus. They spend their entire day reacting, jumping from one thing to another, and by nightfall they are exhausted yet unfulfilled. They worked hard, but not on the things that actually mattered. When you rise early, you give yourself the gift of choosing your priorities before the world forces its priorities on you. You get to decide what is most important and build your day around it, instead of letting random events dictate your schedule. That clarity gives you power, because a person who knows exactly what they want and why they want it cannot be easily distracted or defeated. Use this time to write down your goals, not just for the day, but for the future. Ask yourself the deep questions that most people are too busy to think about. Where am I heading? What is my purpose? What do I want my life to look like 5 years from now? These questions might feel uncomfortable, but this is the hour to face them. The morning does not just clear your schedule, it clears your mind, and in that mental space you can finally hear your own voice instead of everyone else's opinions. Clarity also brings peace. Have you ever noticed how stressful the morning feels when you wake up late? You rush through everything, rushing to get dressed, rushing to eat, rushing to work. And even if you catch up, you feel like you are running all day long. Compare that to the peace of waking up early, moving slowly, and knowing you are ahead of schedule. That peace is not just about having more time. It is about starting your day from a position of strength instead of panic. That state of mind changes how you make decisions, how you speak to people, how you handle challenges. It turns you into someone who responds with calmness instead of reacting with frustration. Focus is a superpower, and it is built in these quiet hours. When you sit down at 4 a.m. to work on a project, to study, to plan, or to create, your brain works differently. There are fewer distractions, fewer interruptions, and because your mind is fresh, you get more done in 1 hour than you might get done in 3 hours later in the day. This is what high achievers understand, that focus is more valuable than time. 2 focused hours can change the course of your life. but 2 distracted hours can disappear without a trace. So when you wake up early, don't waste the gift. Guard it. Protect it fiercely. Don't let it be consumed by meaningless scrolling or mindless entertainment. This is not just time. This is sacred space for you to build the life you want, brick by brick, thought by thought. This is where dreams take shape, where plans turn into action, and where clarity turns into unstoppable momentum. When you wake up before the world, you gain something most people never seem to have: time that belongs completely to you. Not your boss, not your clients, not your family, not the constant buzzing of notifications. Just you. This is where personal growth becomes possible. We live in a world where everyone is busy, but being busy is not the same as growing. You can spend an entire day running around, checking things off a to-do list, and still go to bed feeling like nothing inside you has changed. Growth does not happen by accident. It happens when you make space for it, when you deliberately choose to feed your mind, stretch your thinking, and invest in becoming the kind of person who can handle the life you are dreaming of. The early morning hours are the perfect training ground for this. When the world is quiet, your mind is open. When distractions are gone, you can focus fully on the books you are reading, the skills you are learning, the ideas you are exploring. This is not just about collecting information. It is about transformation. One good book read in the stillness of the morning can change the direction of your life. 1 hour of learning a new skill before sunrise can put you ahead of thousands of people who are still sleeping. 1 hour of journaling, reflecting, and asking yourself hard questions can give you breakthroughs that weeks of busy rushing will never provide. Personal growth also means taking care of your body and your mind, and the early hours are the best time to do it. Exercise when the world is asleep, and you will feel the energy surge through you like a reminder that you are alive and capable. Stretch, breathe deeply, meditate. Whatever helps you center yourself and strengthen the connection between your mind and body. This is not a luxury, this is preparation. You cannot win big in life if you are constantly tired, stressed, or unfocused. The stronger you build yourself in the morning, the better you will handle everything life throws at you during the day. Another powerful way to grow in the early morning is through writing and reflection. Take time to write down what you are grateful for, what you want to accomplish, what lessons you learned yesterday, what fears you need to face today. Writing gives structure to your thoughts and clarity to your emotions. Over time, these small moments of reflection become a roadmap of who you are becoming. You can look back and see your progress, see how far you have come, and that motivates you to keep going. Most importantly, personal growth in the morning gives you a sense of ownership over your life. When you take the first hour or two of the day and invest it into yourself, you send a message to your subconscious: I matter. My goals matter. My growth matters. And that belief changes how you show up for the rest of the day. People who invest in themselves walk with more confidence, speak with more clarity, and act with more purpose. Because they are not running on empty. They are fueled from within. This is the secret most people overlook. Success is not just about what you do. It is about who you become. And who you become is shaped in the quiet hours when no one is watching. You are building yourself into the kind of person who can handle opportunities, who can lead others, who can stay strong when life gets hard. That process is slow, but it is powerful. And every morning you choose to grow, you are shaping a version of yourself that is stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable than the one who went to bed the night before. When you rise early and take charge of your morning, you are not just winning time, you are winning back your energy, your health, and your strength. Most people wake up late, skip breakfast, rush out the door, and spend the first half of the day feeling groggy, sluggish, and unfocused. They run on coffee and adrenaline, not on true energy. But waking up early changes everything. It allows you to slow down, breathe deeply, move your body, and give yourself the physical and mental fuel you need to attack the day with power. Energy is not just something you get from sleep. It is something you generate by the choices you make. Imagine what happens when you use the first hour of your day to exercise, to stretch, to get your heart pumping. Your blood flows, your brain wakes up, your muscles activate, and suddenly your body feels alive instead of heavy. Science has proven that early morning movement increases focus, boosts mood, and releases powerful hormones that keep you feeling alert and motivated for hours. That one choice to train your body before sunrise can set the tone for the entire day. Your health also benefits when you rise early because you create space for proper habits instead of living in constant rush mode. You have time to prepare a nutritious breakfast instead of grabbing something processed on the way to work. You have time to drink water, hydrate your system, and start fresh instead of running on empty. You have time to stretch out stiffness from sleep and prevent the aches and pains that come from a sedentary lifestyle. These small actions, repeated day after day, create a body that feels strong, agile, and capable. And when your body feels good, your mind performs better because the two are deeply connected. Mental health, too, is strengthened in the early hours. Waking up before everyone else gives you a sense of peace and control that reduces stress and anxiety. Instead of waking up to chaos, emails, alarms, children crying, traffic, deadlines, you wake up to stillness. You wake up to quiet reflection, meditation, prayer, or simply breathing in gratitude. This practice centers you, calms your nervous system, and allows you to face the day with a clear mind instead of a scattered one. People underestimate how much stress is caused by simply rushing through life, but those who rise early create margin. That margin becomes a mental shield that keeps them calm even when life gets loud. Energy is not just physical, it is emotional. When you begin your day taking care of yourself, you carry that positive energy into every interaction. You are more patient with your family, more focused at work, more motivated to pursue your goals. You feel good because you have already done something for yourself before the world asked you to do something for it. That creates momentum, and momentum is the secret to keeping your energy high all day. Another overlooked benefit is the quality of your sleep. People who rise early are forced to go to bed earlier, which improves their sleep cycle. Instead of staying up late scrolling endlessly, they value rest as a weapon. And when you sleep at the right time and wake up at the right time, your body aligns with its natural rhythm, leaving you more refreshed than any extra hour of sleep ever could. This consistency trains your body to recover faster, think clearer, and perform better day after day. In the end, energy is the fuel for everything you want to accomplish. Without it, even the best plans collapse. But when you wake up early and use that time to strengthen your body and your mind, you become unstoppable. You no longer crawl through the day, you charge through it. You become someone who is not just awake, but fully alive. Someone who does not just survive the day, but dominates it with power and purpose. Consistency is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Waking up early once or twice might make you feel good for a day, but it is consistency that transforms this habit into a weapon that can change your life. Most people start strong and quit early. They get inspired, set the alarm for a few days, wake up excited, and then slowly slip back into old habits when motivation fades. That is the trap that keeps people stuck. The truth is, it is not what you do once in a while that changes your life. It is what you do every single day, especially on the days when it is hard. Momentum is born out of small, repeated actions. Think about a snowball rolling down a hill. At first, it is small, almost insignificant, but as it rolls, it picks up more snow, becomes heavier, moves faster, and eventually nothing can stop it. Your discipline works the same way. The first few mornings will be hard. You will fight the urge to stay in bed. Your mind will come up with excuses, and you may even fail a few times. But the key is to keep going. Each time you rise early, you are adding another layer to your identity, strengthening the belief that this is who you are now. And once your actions align with that identity long enough, it stops feeling forced. It becomes automatic. Consistency builds trust with yourself, and that trust is priceless. Every time you wake up when you said you would, you are keeping a promise to yourself. And when you keep that promise again and again, you begin to trust yourself at a deep level. That trust spills into every other area of your life. You start believing that you can commit to bigger goals, take on harder challenges, and actually follow through. People think motivation is what keeps them moving, but in truth, it is momentum. When you have momentum, you do not need to talk yourself into doing the work. You just do it because it has become a natural part of you. Consistency also compounds over time. One early morning might seem like it does not make much difference, but stack up 30 of them and you have a month of progress. Stack up 300 and you have nearly a year of discipline. That year could be the difference between being in the same place or standing on a completely different level. healthier, wealthier, wiser, stronger. People on the outside will look at your results and think you got lucky. But luck had nothing to do with it. It was built morning after morning, long before anyone was watching. Momentum also gives you confidence, because you begin to see results. At first, you will feel tired and wonder if it is worth it. But over time, you will notice that you are getting more done before sunrise than most people do all day. You will notice your mind becoming clearer, your mood improving, your energy rising. That proof feeds your belief, and your belief fuels even more action. Suddenly, what once felt impossible now feels inevitable. There will still be days when you do not feel like waking up early, days when the bed feels too warm and your excuse is too convincing. But by then, you will have built so much momentum that missing a day will feel wrong, almost uncomfortable. That is when you know you have crossed a line. You are no longer someone who tries, you are someone who lives this habit. And when you reach that point, nothing and no one can stop you from moving forward. Big transformations in life almost never happen from massive, overnight changes. They come from small, consistent shifts that seem almost too simple to matter. But when repeated day after day, they create a completely different reality. Waking up at 4 a.m. might seem like a small change. It is just one decision, one alarm clock setting, one moment of choosing to rise instead of roll over. But over time, this small change rewires your brain, reorganizes your priorities, and sets into motion a chain of events that can completely rewrite your future. The power of small changes is that they are achievable. Anyone can set an alarm a little earlier. Anyone can choose to stay out of bed when their mind begs them to sleep. Anyone can take the first step toward becoming the version of themselves they dream about. The problem is most people underestimate these small steps. They think, what difference can one morning make? But one morning becomes two, two becomes 10, 10 becomes a habit, and that habit becomes a lifestyle. The compound effect begins to work for you instead of against you. Think about where you could be a year from. Now, if you committed to this one change, if you woke up early every single day and used those extra hours to work on yourself, to exercise, to learn, to plan, to create, imagine the progress you would make. You could read dozens of books, master new skills, start the business you've been postponing, strengthen your body, and sharpen your mind. Most importantly, you would become a person of discipline, and that one trait would spill into every other part of your life. You would stop procrastinating, stop making excuses, and start living with intention. Small changes are powerful because they are sustainable. Big dramatic shifts can burn you out if they are too extreme, but small ones build slowly, giving you time to adjust and grow into the new version of yourself. They create a sense of pride because every time you follow through, you prove to yourself that you are capable of change. And when you stack one small victory on top of another, your confidence grows, your energy rises, and you begin to believe that bigger dreams are possible. This is how lives are changed, not by waiting for the perfect moment, not by hoping for luck, but by doing the small, simple things that most people ignore. The world is full of people who say they want more, but stay trapped in the same patterns because they never make the first small choice to break free. If you want to be different, you must do different. And it starts with something as simple as what time you decide to wake up tomorrow. This is your moment to decide who you are going to be. You can choose to stay as you are, hitting snooze on the alarm, snooze on your dreams, snooze on your future. Or you can rise. You can choose to be the one who gets ahead while the world sleeps, who builds discipline when nobody is watching, who grows stronger in the silence, who fuels their energy and focuses their mind before the day begins, who stays consistent until momentum makes quitting unthinkable. You can choose to take this small step every day and watch it create a life so big you once thought it was impossible. The alarm will ring tomorrow morning. That is your first test. Will you ignore it or will you rise? If you choose to rise, you are not just waking up, you are waking up to your power, waking up to your purpose, waking up to the future you deserve. One small change can rewrite everything. Start tomorrow. Start now, start before the sun. And never stop.